Happy Apple M1 Silicon Day. Basically today the brand new M1 Apple computers are out. I only got one of the two that I ordered. My other one comes tomorrow. I hear a truck. There we have it. This is the MacBook Pro 13-inch base silicon joint. Here, we're gonna open this up and get into this, but let's get to the B-roll unboxing good stuff, man. I gotta turn on my camera over here. Hold on one second, man. Oh, babe. Oh, y'all ain't see that. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set this up and all that good stuff, you know what I mean? Maybe shoot a couple more B-roll shots and so forth, but it's kind of unfortunate to only have two Thunderbolt 3/USB-C ports or whatever, but keep in mind that all of these M1 Apple products that just released are limited to just two Thunderbolt 3 ports. Okay, so I had to whip out the iPhone 12 mini for this shot, but I just want to show you, like, you know, since you only got two Thunderbolt 3s, you're gonna need dongles, and this is a dope contraption from Satechi. And this allows me to have my external hard drive and then take the SD card and plug it in. And I'm basically gonna transfer the footage I just shot onto there so that I could go into Final Cut Pro and edit. Also get extra USB-C, two USB-As. So this is a nice compact one for the, you know, travel friendly option. High-end option, if you're gonna be more stationary, and that'll be the COULDN TS3. This thing right here, 100% recommended. It gives you so many USB-C ports, so many USB-A ports, display port, Ethernet cable, you name it. Every port you need. So just wanted to throw those options out there for you guys. So even though we don't have support at this current moment for more than just two, I'm looking forward to the future of these M chips as they evolve. From what we've seen from this alone, like literally I was watching this live stream from this tech channel. They were in Australia, so it was already, you know, the daytime for them, late night, man. I had a late night last night, but I just wanted to watch. They did a lot of great tests. Whatever people asked them to test, they were testing, they were doing it all. I got to see live Geekbench scores, Cinebench, Final Cut Pro, like high end, low end, all of those things. And I can tell you a lot about this M1, but I also want to use it for myself. So let me selfishly set this bad boy up, baby, and I'll be right back, and we can have a chit chat, or maybe we'll talk while it's setting up. But you know, I gotta put in that personal info right now, so you can't see. Hey, so this is my first time using a 13-inch version of the MacBook Pro since they went back to the better keyboard. I have tried like multiples. I had like 2 or 3 of the ones with the butterfly. I never kept them, partly being the butterfly keyboard build, but also other reasons. And those were the Intel machines, and those are actually extremely powerful and capable, but I still was in search of a more powerful machine for my mobile use or whatever. But anyways, this keyboard right here, baby, it just feels good on a small version of an Apple computer to not have those mushy keys. I just want to throw that out there because that's something that does matter. And I mean, you get it whether you go Intel or M1, but hey man, I appreciate it. Okay, so this shipped with about 75% battery, so it's gonna take me about an hour and a half to get from like 75% to a fully charged battery. I'm gonna let it do that. I'm gonna let it do what it do. I mean, y'all down to talk to me while we charge the MacBook M1, right? Huh? Y'all just only came to see the MacBook? Y'all just want to look at the MacBook and all that stuff? Y'all don't even want to see my face, huh? Man, all this time I thought y'all came to these tech videos for me. Ooh. Hey, look at this, man. Look how good that iPhone mini with the California Poppy looks next to this brand new M1 Mac running Big Sur. Oh, it's about to go down. So I just want to have a small convo with you guys about the whole M1 chip. You know, there was a lot of doubters and haters in the beginning. There's a lot of y'all out there that just hate Apple for whatever reason. And I understand some of the reasons why some people dislike Apple, but I don't think you should hate Apple. At the end of the day, man, this is all about efficiency and power and performance being stacked into a more cohesive way and the future of computing as we know it and what it will become. This speeds up everything tremendously, and it's also more efficient and less draining on the battery. It's just all about optimization. You know, a lot of people be like, oh, Apple users, you say the same thing. Optimization, that's what we speak about when we talk about iPhones. Well, now it's coming to computers. Everybody's looking to debunk these. A lot of people grab them to see it fail. Honestly, at this point in time, after seeing so many tests, Cinebench, Geekbench, all of that stuff, like these things are actually living up to what they were intended to, and it's also showing the potential of the future and where they can go. There's more programming to be done and software and apps to really support this architecture, but once it's in full play, oh, it's going to be nuts. This is revolutionary. Like, people got to understand, now we have just hit an innovative direction in the Apple computing and just computing in general. Basically, we are on the cusp of the innovative improvement of computing. This is when it's exciting to be in the tech space. This is what I love. This is what I can speak about. Everybody always want to be a tech sheet thought. Just keep looking at the tech specs and trying to see on paper and numbers and no, it's all about the performance and the user experience and the overall future of where we can go with this. That is what Apple Silicon computing is to us, to me, to you. Don't go rush out and grab one. Like, really pay attention to what reviewers are saying, what's actually capable of being used on this thing. Like, you guys have to, like, just hold your horses. Let us take the arrows on the back, and then y'all come through for the smooth, you know, sweep up. I got you, baby. All right, guys, it is the next day, and now it's time to test some Final Cut editing. I'm more than likely going to edit the video that I'm putting up right now on this MacBook Pro, but I'm going to take, this is my trusted, like literally I use this even when I'm editing on this big iMac Pro. This is where I keep the footage and edit off of. So I'm going to do my exact same workflow, have my Final Cut Pro files on here. We're going to see what the Final Cut Pro look like on that ARM chip. Let's go ahead and lift this up. Okay, we're opening up Final Cut Pro. They just put out a nice new update in Final Cut Pro so that they can run on M1 Silicon. Okay, so as you can see, this project is scrubbing extremely well. Whew, good to go. Now, some things are missing. At the end of the day, this right here is 4K 10-bit ProRes footage right here. Uncompressed, the full thing. This thing is scrubbing this entire timeline like nobody's business. This is crazy. I don't even think my iMac Pro is this quick with it. Hold up. I just gotta test. Oh, I can't test it because I'm using my hard drive here. Man, this is crazy. Now we're in better performance. Let's go to better quality because that's really where the test is. It's scrubbing with no problem, even in better quality. This is nuts, you guys. Even my regular like vlog footage is 4K 8-bit. Yo, this right here, like, for me to be able to use it in my current workflow. Now, let me add the color grading to this. Hold on one second. Oh, I know why the basic correction isn't working. I don't have the basic correction, the thing that I use to apply LUTs. I don't have that on here. That's the problem. All right, so let me figure that out. So at least I can have the LUTs put on here. It's some nerd creator stuff. Hey, just real quick, I want to demonstrate something. This is just going to speak to the fact of why creators love Apple and why they tend to use it for the creation process. Okay, so the thing that I needed earlier was adjustment layers. I have my adjustment layers folder on my iMac Pro. Here's my MacBook Pro. I don't need to put no cable or figure out how I'm going to get that here. Why? Because I'm about to airdrop it right now. I'm going to turn on airdrop. My MacBook Pro appears. I drag the adjustment layer folder. And then instantly it's going to be in my downloads folder right here. You heard the noise. We're going to go to downloads. And there it is, adjustment layers. Now I get to go and install this right here on my MacBook Pro 13-inch. So that way I can get back into the Final Cut Pro and do what I was doing. So the simple fact that I was able to pull this project in and have it run extremely smooth. Like, this is crazy how smooth this is scrubbing and everything. And all right, so right now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add the exact same LUT and color grade. Wow, this is really good. Okay, so I think my next thing that I'm gonna do is put Big Sur on the iMac Pro and then just compare. I'm gonna pull that same project right into the iMac Pro and we're gonna see if it can scrub as good as it did on the ARM Mac. You know, we gotta have the systems the same, man. I've been waiting to go to Big Sur. I don't know if I'm ready. All right, so basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start working on this video that I'm making right now. Now here's the thing. I have plugins or like presets that I've created in Final Cut that I need to put over here. So actually I need to go to my iMac Pro, get those, you know, airdrop them over here and set that up. So let me do that real quick. I just thought about that. I just want to show you guys how quick and easy it is. I airdropped them, mind you. That's why I sent my downloads folder. I'm just gonna drag and drop this to my library folder on this computer, and now I have all of my presets. The ease of use on Apple for a creator is everything, and that's time is money, baby. All right, so basically I want to show you guys, like, I'm editing the video that you guys are gonna be watching right now. This is me in the midway point or whatever, but I am doing all of this editing right here on the ARM chip 13-inch MacBook Pro, and it's handling it like a champ. I got 4K all live footage. I got 4K 10-bit 422 ProRes footage. It is all just handling this extremely smooth. It's been a pleasant and a breeze to use this for editing this video. I can say that 100 wholeheartedly %. Like, this is dope. This is great for creators. All right, I don't want this video to get too long, so I'm gonna stop right here, but trust me, there's gonna be a full detailed proper review coming up. You know, I'll do that soon, so hang in there, and I'll do some more like in between stuff, like showing you guys real life usage, not just, you know, the review. Like, I want it to be like, I literally in real time showed you guys me using it and what I'm going through. And also, let's just check in with the battery. Okay, so I charged this last night. I put a lot of software, loaded things up on here, and then I closed it, left it in standby, opened it this morning, got straight to just grinding it out throughout the day. I got 18% left, and I have not touched the charger. This is pretty lit. And also today, I just got this bad boy, the M1 chipped Mac Mini. So I need to get into messing with this, setting this up, and getting it ready to be tested and pushed to its limits as well. So I got a lot to do. I got a lot of grind. I want to put this video to an end. Y'all know what to do. Smash that like button. Smash the subscribe button. My name is CJ. This is CJ Unplugged, baby. Yeah, I changed the name. Shh. I'll talk about it later, okay?